Hello everyone. So we're gonna continue learning React in this video. So slowly we're developing our knowledge. On my last video, I have shown that how you can leverage the Bootstrap library into the element that we have in counter.jsx. So today pretty much we're gonna grow from there. A few more advanced stuff of JavaScript that's gonna be really helpful down the line to develop a full-fledged web application. So before we jump onto the counter.jsx, we want to learn today few things. First of all, if you have knowledge of JavaScript, how to create an array, that's good enough. If you're not, then please stay with me to see how to create an array, how to print value from an array, what is a map in JavaScript, because all those information we're gonna use into our work today. So just before jumping to the work, I want to go through a quick tutorial with the JavaScript array. So let's declare an array. So we're gonna create an array about fruits. So inside our array, the item we have banana, orange, apple, mango. All right, so what is an array? I mean, array is basically storing is sort of like variable, but it can store multiple sets of data. So in a variable, we only can store one item, one value at a time. But in array, we can store multiple values at the same time. So in JavaScript, basically, you can declare an array simply using the keyword var, the name of the array, equal to the list of the value you want to store. You can list any number of items inside that array. Yeah, there is no restriction because JavaScript automatically interpret what is the length of the array by inputting the number of items inside the array. All right. So now, few of the built-in array method we can learn today. First, if I want to figure out what's the length of the array, then I can. So let's add some comments. Declare an array, then find the length of the array. So let's say we declare a variable called array length equal to the name of the array dot. If you press dot, it shows you all the method that array supports you can use. So we need the length property. Here we go. Now let's print this value to see what is the length of the array. So as per our count, 1, 2, 3, 4. The length of the array is 4. So in order to display any message, we can use the word called console.log. So inside the terminal is gonna flash it out all the value we want to see. So we want to see the array length. All right, so in VS Code, basically it has a built-in terminal where we can perform our action. So if you click on view, then select terminal, it's gonna launch the terminal right bottom of the screen. All right then, so Another technique I'm gonna teach you today. So how to use Node. So now in order to run this script tutorial.js, we're gonna use the tool Node that we have installed in our first class, because due to the Node installation, we are now able to use npm Node package manager to download any kind of packages we want to. So we're gonna use the same Node tool. So type Node, then the name of the file is tutorial.js. So if you run it, as you see, it displays 4. So it means the length of our array is 4. So now let's say if you want to print the first item of an array. So what if we want to print the first item? The first item we can see is banana. So let's create another variable called first item equal to, so let's type fruits. In the index you can put 0, so it will print the value of the first item. So the array, the indexing always start with 0. So now we have 4 items, but if we talk about index, so index value first is 0, 1, 2, 3. So we have 4 index. So all indexing always start with 0. So now let's print it out, which is first item. So now we're supposed to see the value is banana. Yes, as you see, the banana is printed out. All right, so now if we want to print the last item of an array, print the last item of an array. So let's do the same thing, variable last item equal to fruits. So the last item, so here two way, we can put the index number or we can put the index number in a dynamical way. So it doesn't matter what's the length, how many item is in the array, it is always gonna print the last item of the array. So we can use this array length. So the array length we know is 4 minus 1, so it means 3. So as of now our array, we know we have 4 indexes, 0, 1, 2, 3. So if you put hard-coded value here, 3 is going to be in the last item. But if you don't know how many items in your array, so you can simply use the method we found is length. So array length is going to return 4 minus 1, which is 3. So it's going to print it out, the last item. All right, so let's run it. Okay, mango is printing out. The another things we're going to learn is how to retrieve all the value from the array. So now it has 4 items in the array. So we want to see all the items from an array. So the first technique we can use is using a loop. So we're going to loop through the array and print one after another. So how can we do that? So let's use print all the items of an array. So we're going to use the loop for, then we're going to create a index is I equal to 0, then I less than array length I plus plus. So then I'm gonna call the array fruits and put the index I. All right, so I believe more or less all of you have the idea of for loop, but still I'm explaining. So for loop has three conditions. First condition, where the starting point, where are you gonna start. Second condition is the ending point, where you should end. The third condition, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna increase or decrease? How are you gonna move on to display the value? So we are basically saying that start from 0, finish whenever end of the array. So our end of the array length is 4, so we want to finish at 3, because as you saw, the index is always start from 0. How are we gonna retrieve the value? By increasing one at a time. So 0, 1, 2, 3 until it reaches the end, the array length. What are we gonna print? So fruits is the name of our array, and I basically is flashing out the value. So 0, 1, 2 until the end of length of the array. All right, so let's check it out. Here we go. As you see, banana, orange, apple, mango. So there's another way you can print the value of the array without the looping. That technique is called map. So the array has a function called map. So let's see how we can use map to print value. So in order to print value in a map, we need to create a function first. So because map only returns a function. So let's create a function called, so the word of creating function in JavaScript is called function. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna print array, and the what is the print array? So is item. Okay, so now inside we're gonna function is returning the item. So basically console.log I want to print the item. Done. So let's create a print function. Print array is to return value array item. Okay, so now let's first call the array name. So the array name, we have fruits. If you put dot, you see there is a map method that we can use. So inside the map method, whenever you put the parentheses, it will tell you, give you the intelligence. So what should you have? So you need to have a callback function. So the callback function, you can have some parameter if you want to, based on your work. So the callback function we have is print array. So print array. That's pretty much. So let's finish. Let's add the comments. Use map method to print array item. So if we do that now, so let me comment it out this for loop, because this for loop is already we saw is working to print it out all the value from an array. So now let's run it. As you see, it's doing the same work that we use for loop. So there's another way of printing value from an array using the map. All right then, so let's go back to our work. So is counter app. Let's close the terminal. So now So as of now, so what we have done yesterday, we added the different color for the label. So if the value is 0, it's gonna print the 0 text in yellow color. Other than 0, it's gonna print the value in blue color. So now today the things we're gonna do, first is rendering list, render a list. So whatever we have, so let's remove those because we not gonna need this today. So another piece of suggestion that the work we are developing, if you want, because a lot of deletion, addition is gonna be going on in the work, because so many things I'm adding, I'm writing just for develop our knowledge, because those information we're gonna need down the line. But for the time being, I'm removing some, because yesterday we have seen how to pick dynamic images. I've removed it because I already have shown how to, if you want to add images onto your web page, how can you do that? So make sure you understand that concept. If you want to keep a note in a separate notepad or anywhere, please do so, because I'm gonna removing new information. So as for your reference, if you feel you have a feeling that you might forget what I have done, either you can refer to the video or you can add those information in a separate source for your references. So what you're gonna do, we're gonna remove this pen and button and the method we have created. Okay, so inside this state, the first thing first, I'm going to create an array called tags, and we're going to add value inside that array. So let's say tag 1. So basically today I'm showing how to render a list into our web page. So tag 1, tag 2, tag 3. Okay, so now I want to flash it out, this value inside the diffs. So another thing is, in JSX basically you cannot use a loop to print a value. So since we cannot use the loop, we can use the mechanism of map. That's the reason I have shown the tutorial that how you can retrieve value from an array, one way using a loop, another way using a map. So we're going to display those information through a map. So what is the way? So first we need to call the property of our state. So this dot state dot tags. So tags, the name of our array. So now we're gonna use map. So inside the map we need to have a callback function. So let's give a name. The callback function is tag. So in ES6 basically you can create a function using an array symbol. So this is the function name. Array symbol means that inside the next curly braces, then you have the return method. So the return value you have. So basically what I want to do, okay, basically the things I want to display in our web page is an unordered list. So I need to declare UL, which stands for unordered list. Over there we're gonna just paste the information that we have. So inside the map we create a callback function called tag. Then we're gonna print the list item. So there is another tag we can use li. So in the list item, what we're gonna print, basically gonna print is the tag. So once I save it, is actually auto formatted, as you have seen that it put a parenthesis before they put a parenthesis around the name of the function. So the function we gave tag. Then the list item we have, then it put a parenthesis throughout the list item. So inside the list item, what we're gonna print? We're gonna print a value called tag. So this value we just define. So let's see how does it work. As you see, it's printing tag 1, tag 2, tag 3 from our array. So without using the loop, we can simply leverage the map method that array support. So let's check it out something. Let's inspect it and see how it shows behind the scene. If you click on console, as you see warning, we see a warning. So let's understand what is warning. Each child in a list should have a unique key property. So each child in a list should have a unique key property. Check the render method of counter. So the function we created here, inside the map is tag function. So the list item we are printing all the tag. So now let's say, what if you have another array and that array also has different name, but you want to print the item of that array inside this unordered list. So you have a tag 1, tag 2, tag 3, then you have another array that has tag 5, tag 6, tag 7. So the two arrays you want to print, then if you don't have any unique key, is gonna get confused inside the unordered list. So as a result, to make it distinguish, we want to create a key so that key will determine what are you trying to print. So here, in a way, we can define a key is define an property called key inside the list item. So key property is as you see, is a JSX attribute. So you can give a name of the key property, which is tag. Let's save it and check it out. What does it show? Okay, so it's tag 1, tag 2, tag 3. So we make sure there is no error in the console. As you see, okay, no issue in the console. Cool. So we understand how to declare an array inside the JSX and how to retrieve value from an array inside a web element. So you are using UL, which is unordered list, and inside the unordered list, basically we are printing the list item. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do the conditional rendering. So the conditional rendering, let's see. So basically, we're gonna create a method right here. So the method name is, let's say, name it render text. So we're gonna do conditional rendering. So inside that, what can we do? Basically, create a if condition. If this dot state dot length dot text dot length zero, then return the return a paragraph. So there are no tags. Okay, so inside our render text methods, so I have created a if condition. If the length of the array is 0, then return there are no tags. So at the moment we know the length of the array is not 0. Then if the length is not 0, then return the regular information. So what can we do? Return, let's copy, then return the unordered list. We can cut this information and paste it here. Save it. It is going to automatically format it for you. So the condition, if the length is 0, print this. Then else, if this length is not 0, then return the item of the array. So we can perform this using by just to create another separate method, just to simplify the element we have, because as we discussed earlier, that we don't want to pollute our render method. We want to keep the render method as simple as we can. Was the way of printing the information. So basically same. Inside the curly braces, just call this method this dot render text. Okay, now let's check it out, make sure it's working. Okay, same. So now how to test this? So this tag, it doesn't have any, so make sure our if condition also working. So for the time being, I'm just gonna cut the item so that I can put it back again. And what's our expectation? Is going to return this value. There are no tags. So let's, here we go, there are no tags. Okay, cool. So now there's another way we can actually implement this. There's another logic we can implement here inside this div, which is, let's add information. So let's put it back the value at this moment. So we can add another conditional logic inside the div. So what can we do? So this dot state dot tags dot length 0, and please create a new tag. Okay, so if this length is equal to, please create a new tag. So let's see, what do you see in our script? Nothing, because it's become false. Okay, so I'm gonna show it to you actually today, another way of debugging our script right in developer tools. So here basically let's simply jump onto the developer tools. So in the console, basically true is a boolean, ampersand, false also boolean. So once you do that, the result is false. So if this is true, true, ampersand, true, so the result is true. So this is the normal arithmetic operator we know, I mean, since our childhood, is a math condition. So ampersand, in order to make ampersand condition true, you need to have both condition is true. What if you have a true boolean value, if a true boolean value ampersand, you have a string what is string is gonna print it out value high. So why is that? So basically true, as we know, this is true, ampersand. If you have a string which is not empty, is gonna always print it out the last operand. So I have first operand true, ampersand, the last operand is high. So if this condition true and this string uh, is not empty, then it's gonna print the high. So what another condition? Let's say true, then let's say hello, then another condition world. So what happened here? It's gonna flash it out world. So why is that? So let's say I have 3 ampersand, so it's 3 condition. So first condition is true, then I have a ampersand, I have second is a string which has some character, and this is another, I have string which is some character. So basically if string is not empty, the compiler translate into a true. Same goes if this is also not empty, the compiler assume this is also true. So first operand, second operand, third operand. So if all conditions become true, it printed out the last string. So now as per the same concept, so our first condition, this state tags dot length, is it 0? No, it false. It's automatically false. So false and true become false. So in order to make it work, so what can we do? We can basically cut this just to make sure it's working. So then let's see the information. Here we go. So please create a new tag. There are no tags. So how does it trigger? So it's triggered the last operand from this line. So this state tags dot length equal to 0. Yes, because I just removed all the item from the array tags. So it's printed out this message, please create a new tag. Okay. Then the second is it called the render tags, and if this condition also become true, if these tags length equal to 0, yes, there are no new tags. All right then, so that's pretty much for today's tutorial. So a lot of information we have learned. First thing first, what is an array, how to declare an array in JavaScript. I have dedicatedly created a video just for understanding how to declare an array, how to print value from an array. And if you don't want to use for loop, how you can print it out all the value from an array without using a for loop. Then inside our counter.jsx, we have seen how to declare an array and how to print it out the value of an array using the map. Then also we have learned how to work with conditional rendering. So based on if your condition is gonna print it out some information. So stay tuned with this tutorial, React learning. So in the next class, I'm gonna discuss more advanced feature. But make sure the information I have trying to deliver today, you understand each and every concept. Do practice in your own time. Do practice the Java array stuff. So the mechanism I would like to suggest to you. So I created a folder called learn.js. Inside that folder, I have created a tutorial.js. So this tutorial.js has basically just is a playground for me. So whenever I want to try it out some function or any process of JavaScript, make sure I tried it out here and get the full concept. Once I understand, then let's move back to counter.jsx, implement that concept. Because please, the ultimate goal is to clear your concept so that when you're moving forward, everything is going to be really easier for you. Thanks a lot. If you like my video, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and just click the bell button so that every new video I'm gonna upload, you're gonna get a notification. Have a wonderful one and stay tuned. Bye.